Hello and good evening. I am not a clever wolf, I am your host for today. And today, a very favorite YouTuber of mine called Lindybeige posted a video about sword fighting. And, well, to sum it up, to summarize it a bit, I happen to have a sword here. And his point was, usually when you talk sword fighting and people talk about parrying, they talk about you do not parry with the sharp side of your blade, with the sharp edge. People usually tend to say you use the flat side or the back side, so you don't get your wonderful edge here dented or chipped. And Lindybeige's video, I don't want to take credit, I just want to sum it up, even though we agree on that one, is that yes, you do parry with the sharp side of your blade. He has like 6 reasons for that. Just a quick summing it up. The most important one is when there's a blow coming at you, there's someone with a sword trying to kill you. And he is making it increasingly difficult to actually parry your hit. He's doing everything he can so you die. So what you do, maybe you're not the most trained fighter, you just put the blade right in the way so they don't decapitate you. And you do not care if you do it with the edge or the flat side. Actually, you're adding increased difficulty by trying to get the flat side there. It has other different other points there that I do not want to sum up. Another point that Lindybeige made is that the guards were usually straight. So if you hold the sword like this, and the enemy blow comes and goes down your blade, it's stopped by the guard. But if you would parry like this, and the enemy blow comes and goes down your blade, it hits your hand. Which is not the nicest thing to happen. Actually, I would prefer not to. Now, so far we both totally agree. But at the end of the video, Lindybeige stated that he could not think of any reason why you would ever want to parry with a flat side. And that's where we both start disagreeing. Because actually, I can't think of some reasons why you would parry with a flat blade. Now, the first thing that I want to mention is, I think, Lindybeige, you are completely correct, but you have to look at the context of time. In the early to middle and late Middle Ages, it probably was just the way you said. But I think if you look at the later time, like the end of the Middle Ages, the beginning of Renaissance, things start to change. I happen to have a Renaissance saber here, 1.5-handed. And there's a few things about this sword I want to show you. The first thing is here. Here, yeah, you see? It has this shell-like structure on it. And of course, it's nice if there's a blade coming here and it goes down my weapon, I'm protected by the guard, straight guard, as in Lindybeige's video. But if it comes at an angle like this and then goes down, oh look here, my hand is still protected by this shell. But this kind of style also allows me to parry like this, and if the blade comes, it goes down, I'm protected. That's very nice. So the shape of this blade actually allows for parrying with the sides. And that's something you can see a lot in Renaissance weapons. Many of them start having these baskets and the complex hilts that Lindybeige also mentioned, and they make it parrying with a flat side actually possible. Now, making it possible is not a guarantee that it was done, but just keep in mind that with later weapons, it was actually possible. Now, the thing I want to talk about is arena fighting and dueling. A 1.5-handed sword is a nice weapon, and I myself, I'm a sword fighter. I fight a lot, and we usually fight one-on-ones. And in a one-on-one, a 1.5-handed sword is amazing. There's so much stuff you can do. But if I would go to battle, I would actually prefer a different weapon, because with a 1.5-handed sword, both of my hands are here, but my range isn't that great. And to be honest, with arrows flying around and people coming from all sides and stabby spears, I would prefer a big shield. Sitting on my horse, I like a big shield, together with my lance or my spear. Um, Once I'm on my feet, I prefer a shield. And if I don't have a shield, I want a pike or a halberd or something, a spear, something that makes the enemy be far away from me. Now, especially with the Renaissance and the battlefields changing, I think the focus for one-handed sword, one and a half-handed swords, shifted from battlefield role to a more civil role, to a role where arena fighting, fighting for honor or for entertainment, or dueling became like the more of the main purpose of this weapon. Like, you are going to town, you take your one and a half-hander with you, to show everyone that you are a knight or like a nobleman and that you can afford it and have one and are allowed to have one and that you can actually wield it and that you're prepared to defend your honor. Or you use it to go to the arena and to show off your skills. If you look at the Lichtenauer or the other fencing manuals, a lot of them propagate fighting without armor, called Bloßfechten, in a one-on-one context, which is not what you find on the battlefield. If I'm on the battlefield, I'm wearing plate mail, which became very famous in the early Renaissance. I'm wearing as much armor as I can, and I'm not fighting one-on-one. If I have two friends and there is one guy, we're attacking him and we're taking him down, no honor, no question asked, I want to live. He wants to live, he wants to live. So we're making it very difficult for him to actually do that. And if you think of this one-on-one dueling style, then some things change. Now, the first thing is, if you look at the fencing manuals, there is one thing that I noticed that is shown, not a lot, but it's shown sometimes, and that's people holding the sword like this. Now, a word of warning. If I ever see some people holding their swords like this in a HEMA fight or on a medieval market, especially while actually fighting, don't do it. Just don't do it. People have lost their thumbs because they were doing it wrong and people got to strike them here. And there is metal. Your thumb can go nowhere. No armor is thick enough to protect your finger. Don't do it. But it's shown in the fencing manuals. And this kind of holding your sword especially makes sense from the upper guards. If you hold your sword like this, because it gives you the necessary control to parry with a flat side. Because now I have the control and like if I do it like this, it feels like wobbly and not good. If I do it like this, it's fine. And especially when you're fighting without armor in a dueling, and a lot of the battles, I imagine, were for the first blood, because people don't like to die, even for their honor. So I would imagine, most often duel for first blood or until the first guy gives up. So if I'm fighting without armor and I'm parrying like this, and people strike my blade, it goes down. And if I have a double-edged sword and I parry like this and they hit me, I'm gonna be cut by my own blade right here. So what I need to do now is turn it. So if I parry now and the blow comes here and goes down, I don't cut myself on my own sword. So for the upper guards, oftentimes you would need to like hold it on the flat side, and there are quite a few stances and incidents where parrying with a flat side actually makes sense. We don't need to go over. I just want to make a point that there is actually practical use for parrying with a flat side. And another point I want to make is these swords later on, they were no simple tools anymore. As I said, you wear the sword, you go to town, you show everybody that you have the biggest sword. And they were kind of beautiful with the nice baskets and the twirled metal thingies and some inlays with gold and other precious metals, with a very nice, wonderful blade, Spanish steel, and the swords tended to become lighter and more expensive. So if a sword is light and the blade is very flat, like the rapier blade, for example, because the enemy is not wearing armor, we're not in a battlefield situation, so having a lighter blade allows for more speed and allows for more efficient dueling combat. I don't need to penetrate thick armor, I just need to get the first hit on the guy, so he's like, oh, I'm sorry, you're right. Yeah. So you got this light, expensive weapon, and maybe, just maybe, people didn't want to afford repairing it after every battle because it took a fortune. So maybe they were trained to use the flat side whenever possible, so the blade wouldn't get so much wear because it was a symbol of representation. And of course, showing off that you had like 4 or 5 duels and your fencing skills are so awesome that without needing to repair your sword, you still not have a single like dent in your edge. Maybe that was some kind of sword fighting showing off, like, look at my skill, like, not repaired once, and see, no dents. I'm so good, I even have time to parry with a flat side. Maybe that was some kind of intimidation tactic. I don't know, that's just speculating on my side. But there you are. Some reasons for parrying with a flat side of your sword. I am very curious and looking forward to all the comments that you're gonna make and the points that you're gonna bring. And I would be happy to stay in the discussion. I wish you all a good evening. Oh, wait. I forgot a point. I forgot the most important point. Of course, I am not a historian. I'm also not an archaeologist. I have no professional knowledge about sword fighting. All this is just my opinion. From my experience from fighting with swords, from being in the HEMA scene, from being on Medieval Market and talking about all this thing and just logical thinking. So no proof from my side. It's just like train of thoughts running by. Yeah, I still hope you could enjoy the video. Thanks a lot and goodbye.